time to get another update. An update on how many cups of coffee Jen Johns has had, and how she's holding up, and what's going on at Decatur Watchfest. So we bring in Jen. How are you this morning? There it is.
There it is. I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
Running around about as fast as you. And thank you for coming in. How many cups of coffee is that, by the way?
It's the first one.
Wow.
It's the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and we have been incredibly busy, but so impressed with all of the people that have come out and the spirit and the excitement that's around this tournament.
When you were piecing Watchfest together, how far back were the meetings in the hermetically sealed conference rooms about planning and figuring out everything?
We started about 2 years ago. We formed a committee about a year and a half ago, and we launched in May of 2025.
When you think from May of 2025 to here in late June of 2026, I imagine it's been a sprint in some aspects of it, and then it's been it really has been 13 months in some aspects. Does it feel like more than one or the other? Does it feel like it was just yesterday when you launched and now you're in the middle of this thing?
Not right now. It does not feel like it's been just a minute. It's hard to believe, I guess, that it's been a year and a half or 2 years that I've been working on this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, every day feels very long right now, but it is so exciting to see everybody. I mean, we have had crowds at Decatur Watchfest that have exceeded our expectations, and really excited about everybody gathering in the new Decatur Square to celebrate soccer together. I mean, while this is an endeavor that has been conceived by the city to be sure and help springboard our business community and our city after a long construction project,
Yeah.
and to make sure to help with long-term economic development, I see it as a place where I can share our love of soccer as a community with the broader region.
You mentioned it has exceeded expectations. Do you have any clue on numbers and attendance figures or anything like that?
Well, through yeah, we are north of 70,000 people having come out. Our footprint is nothing like the city downtown
Right.
or the Fan Fest downtown, which can, I think, sells or gives away, north of 30,000 tickets with an understanding that maybe 15 to XXX number will show.
Mm-hmm.
Our footprint is more in the neighborhood of 5,500. And so when we've exceeded that on a couple of occasions, we've been very surprised and very, very pleased. I think we all hoped for that, but
Bless
excuse
you.
me, that's a sneeze that came out of nowhere. But we've been very, very excited about the crowds that come out on any morning, noon, and night at our festival.
Yeah, I didn't know if the numbers, if somebody's keeping track of numbers, or if you know that your space can have X amount of folks that sit there, and two. Usually the boss has about 5 more in any setting. So if you get toward
Go
7,
boss.
because I didn't know if you just kind of took it by like surface area or by tickets distributed and going one for one. I didn't know how you came up with your numbers, but when you got 5,500 in that space, I mean, it is wall to wall people, and it is the spoke in the wheel for everything there in Decatur, where it's like, yes, you've got all the soccer going on. Yes, you have great musical acts and entertainment going on, but it also is that economic driver for everything else that's on the outside. It was an absolute no-brainer, I think, for me, but it adds to, I guess, what Decatur can bring in general
100%.
going forward.
100%. And I think this is just the beginning of what Decatur can do with regards to their new stage, with regards to the various processes and systems that we have put in place that are always being refined. We started out with a very big VIP area in the front, and we have shrunk that to make sure that we have general admission, free seating in the front of the venue um, for all fans. You just have to be early because those do fill up really early. But like last night, those first to get in the venue were able to get front row seats to the Warren Treaty. But we do have, back to your point about how we're counting numbers, we have Placer AI.
Mhm.
Those numbers come in a day, 2 or 3 later, and they count all people at peak times and then throughout the day, and that does help us say that we're at 5,500 on at peak capacities,
Mhm.
but we've had way more than that on a flow throughout the day. So somebody might, we may have a crowd for the Germany match, then a crowd for the concert, and then a crowd for the USA match. Um, and with a few sprinkled in, and we can also put more than one match on at a time
Mhm.
because we have 3 screens. So last night we made sure that since Australia was still trying to figure out second place,
Yep.
that we had the Australia match on one of the screens as well.
When it comes to logistics and making sure that you've got all of the moving parts to make sure that something like this goes off without a hitch, or at least looks that way, how many moving parts are we talking about here to and manpower and all this kind of stuff? Any clue?
Oh, we have about 500 million moving parts, and we have a really, really great team. With the city of Decatur, we brought in some specialists like Whitney Feigl, who has been leading our operations team. We have, sponsorship folks, we have PR folks, and we've really built a great machine, a great team of folks who have been um, well, we've brought them in different at different times, but for example, Whitney joined us in January. He's absolutely been a godsend to this event and has really helped us with crowd control, with bringing in third party security, working on flow and pinch points, and we had mags and we had magnetometers and gated fenced uh,
Mm.
footprint last night,
Mhm.
and we had one for Big Boy, and we'll have it again for the Indigo Girls. So certain events are really expected to be big, and that we want to make sure that we are complying with our fire marshal to make sure that we keep everybody safe.
Yes, one of the most important people during these kinds of things is the fire marshal. That individual must be kept happy at all times when it comes to doing something like this day after day after day. Jen Johns with there it is, Decatur Watchfest, hanging out with us right here on the morning show here on a Friday. When you're booking these big names, when you're booking events, how much talk goes back and forth? It's like internally to sit there and say, "Hey, we should have A, B, C, D, or E." We should bring in Paul McCartney, and then you work from there. When it comes to determining your acts and everything, how long are those conversations? How far back do those go? And what's the response been from everybody that's been engaged in the process?
It's been amazing. First of all, the length of time that we started booking Big Boy, Indigo Girls, and the Warren Treaty last year in the summer, and it took us a long time to lock in a couple of them. It was remarkable with this committee sort of all putting our heads together about genres and making sure that we try to appeal to a vast variety of people, some of whom are soccer fans, some of whom are not. And then once we locked in our anchors, we started to look at the schedule. Who's playing when? And we waited until after the draw to book a large, vast variety of the other 31 dates. We have a concert every night,
Mhm.
and so Vox Britannia, Her Majesty's Request, Broasis were all three, Brit rock bands that we
Mhm.
wanted to make sure landed in a logical time and place. So we've already had Vox Britannia; they were amazing. Broasis was a giant sing along on our square. Um, and we have Her Majesty's Request playing on June 30th. In fact, I booked them first to make sure that they're playing the night before what we hope
Mhm.
will be an England match in Atlanta. So we
Okay.
are paying attention to the genres. We were very sad that our COT band was on a date that we had to close our venue because of the weather.
Yeah.
So um, we are really trying to line up some of our musical acts. Ruzbe, a flamenco guitarist, played on a day that we had um, Spanish flavor, and we've really tried to add in bits and pieces. We had a capoeira dance troupe that performed on the last Brazil match. So we're trying to make sure that some of our entertainment seems logical, and people have come up to us to say, "You really thought this through," because I see that there's some connection here.
So let's see, you're halfway through, you're at about 75,000 in attendance. What have you learned in tournament about putting something together like this?
Well, there's been a few things. We're trying to make sure that especially during this phase of the group stage where multiple matches are happening at the same time, we're making sure that we're using our multiple screens as much as we can.
Right.
We don't want to have a large gap between um, a, a a match and a musical act if we
Mhm.
can help it.
Yep.
That's one thing that we've learned, where we might have said, well, we can't show that match in its entirety because we have a band that needs to fit into the schedule so that we can close at a specific time on the specific day. We've realized that we can play a match in the front. Uh, sorry, we can put a band on the stage, but we can have two screens in the back for those who are there for various matches. So during Broasis, I believe it was, we had Broasis on the stage, but we had so the France match was delayed for rain. Is
Yes.
that on? Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. The
I
second half for 2 hours. Yeah.
Exactly. So we saw that that was happening, and then we also were planning to show the later match. So we had Broasis on the stage, the end of the France match on the third screen, and then the second screen was the normally scheduled match that came off and wasn't weather delayed. We were very worried it would be weather delayed and we would only be able to show part of it. So we have been. I think the lessons learned is that we need to be adaptable. We
Mhm.
need to be flexible. And as we move into this knockout round, where the matches will probably extend on with extra time, um, we'll have to remain flexible.
Do I want to know how many versions of your Excel spreadsheet you've gone through?
It's constantly evolving. I've just been, in the extra time before I was scheduled to join you, I was just adding round of 32 teams to that spreadsheet so that it's a live document so everyone can see what we know today. But I'm looking forward to the next couple of days to be able to fill in the round of 32 boxes so we can see who's playing when, so we can prepare for our fans.
So,
The fans of
yes,
these teams to
yes,
join us.
yes. So, what is happening this weekend that folks need to know about? And it's very easily accessible on the MARTA line. All you got to do is hop on. You get off at Decatur MARTA station, and you walk out the door, and poof, there are signs, and it's real easy to get to. What's happening this weekend? Folks need to know.
Well, tonight, obviously, we have many matches. Obviously, beginning with Norway, France, and I'll be interested to see how deep that lineup is. The roster is for France because I'm sure we won't see everyone since they've all qualified. But I can't wait to see who gets some time.
Hmm.
I'm excited about Uruguay, Spain, and Cape Verde to see if your favorite can advance through the to the next round. That would be amazing. And we have a band tonight called Guru Fish, which has been around a long time, but they are a funk band. And I am so excited about the bass line for this band. I've heard them before. They've got horns, anyway, it's going to be an amazing act. Saturday, um, DJ Superior is
Yeah.
coming to play between a variety of matches, but looking forward to those matches as well to see how England finishes out of this group, how Panama does what's happening on a number of different fronts there. Um, w- on Sunday, obviously we have I think it's Canada that is
Yeah,
playing,
Canada, South Africa is the first one of the round of 32. Yes.
and then but Wolves Lower is our band on Sunday. They are an REM cover band,
Okay.
and a lot of long-term performing musicians have come together to form this band. They play in lots of other bands, but we booked the Wolves Lower REM cover band, which on the heels of having Peter Buck on our stage,
Yeah.
is going to be sort of a nice continuity line through what was happening. By the way, that was a surprise. It was amazing day.
Yeah.
And then we have a young band called Calico that's playing on Monday, um, out of Virginia Highlands area that is really up and coming. So that's coming up on Monday. So lots of things are happening, but really excited about June 30th, regardless of who's playing on the first. In the morning or in the middle day match, we will have Her Majesty's Request playing the night on the 30th.
Decatur Watchfest 26.com is the website.
Correct.
You can keep up with everything and then follow them on all of the social medias. And Jen, I can't thank you enough for coming in here at the halfway point and talking about everything at Watchfest. It's been fun to see just how that has turned into this magnet for fans,
It really has.
regardless of where their allegiances are. It's been fun to see where it's going. We'll bookmark this conversation, and then when the tournament is over, come back and revisit, and then we can sit there and talk about what we talked about this time, and have larger numbers to talk about, and a lot of folks, and all of the things. I can't thank you enough for coming in on short rest.
Well,
And
well, thank you for having us. And honestly, I look forward to seeing you in Decatur. I know you live nearby, so we'll get to see you soon.
yeah, so it's you Watchfest is that way for me.
That's fantastic. It's that way for me.
Yeah, so it's that way for me to get to Watchfest, and it's been great to see everything go on and see how just crowded and amazing that it is there in the city center. I can't thank you enough. Go finish your first cup of coffee. How late are you up tonight?
Ooh, that's a really good question. How late are we up tonight? I will probably be. We will probably close at 10:30, so maybe by 11:30.
Okay, all right.
No problem.
All right, just
We're the later matches our pubs and restaurants are covering. So a lot of our pubs and restaurants are called watch spots, and they will have all of the matches on into the wee hours.
yep, and they will certainly do that. A lot of folks. Jen,
Thanks so much.
go finish your cup of coffee. We'll catch up soon, my friend.
Thanks you. Have a great day.
All right, bye bye.